So the last two questions I want to try to address this week concern a couple questions you had on the forum. And the first one was Satya's question that how can solutions exist without a problem? And he said, during the course of the discussion on the organized anarchy, that McFarland kept referring to solutions without a problem. There seems to be a logical inconsistency in the statement. If the statement were true, what is the solution addressing if not a problem? So I thought that was a pretty good question. And I kind of wonder if I misspoke to some degree, because what I really meant was, um, so we have solutions, right? So we create certain products or ideas to address a particular problem. But that problem may not be very salient to the participants in the choice arena. In fact, the solution we have may be used for problems we never intended, right? Or even without regard to that problem. Often a solution will be adopted just because it's there and it's pretty fashionable to use it. And so this is the idea I was trying to present. And I think it's clear that we have a lot of products like this that get used for other reasons than what we initially intended them for, or at least the problem they were initially designed for. And that can be part of the inefficiency or the problem of trying to figure out or sense making to make it fit with other kinds of problems. So hopefully that kind of clarifies what I meant. I understand that it's not, the logic inconsistency there was that a solution really is invented in many ways to address some problem, but it's not that those problems persist as salient to the audience in which we're involved with, nor within the environment. And so a lot of our solutions get affixed to other problems they were never intended for. And that's kind of how the dynamics of choice often occur. Now, the second question I thought was, I'm glad to see, it was always been implicit in this course, and I'm thrilled to see people talking about it, was Latha's question, which is our discussion forum in Coursera an organized anarchy? And yes, definitely, in many regards. And we can talk about this at length, but Assam says it well. Each of us enters the forum without any particular goal, having some issues, questions, and some solutions, answers in mind, without being sure that they are interesting to the rest. And the pool of participants is fluid. There's a deadline when all the voting up must stop, or at least where it's recognized by me and others. And rarely any decisions are reached. I mean, it's not as if some decisions maybe as to which ones get posted on the screenside chat, but they're not high stakes by any means. And I wish I could address them all. It's just impossible with the many thousands of you out there. I'm just flattered you give me questions. Albeit, Latha goes on to explain that some of this has been kind of orchestrated to become kind of a choice arena that promotes this kind of participation. So my requiring, my requiring you to post, at least upvotes, has kind of induced quite a bit of participation, and I'm very grateful for that. And I think it's added quite a bit to the course. But of course, those kinds of access rules, those kinds of features make it kind of an active arena of sorts. Other features about it that certain problems and solutions are being dumped, like I can't address everything. I think Latha has just a very nice post about this, and I don't really have to repeat it, really. I think she's right about deadlines, or he is, and access structures. They're right. They're mostly democratic here, and that wherever the energy lies within the forum and within the course, that's where the discussion goes. Now, that said, there are ways to kind of manage this organized anarchy so that you get responses to your posts. And I know quite a few of you have study groups, so get your groups to vote up for your posts. Another thing to do is to post early. And you notice there's a sequence to which people view these posts. Another thing to consider is that long posts, very long posts, are often people pass over more quickly. And then too short of a post also doesn't get much attention either, the substantive post. You notice there's a whole art or a game here in terms of acquiring attention to a post as a potential solution that to the audience's problems, which are trying to learn or ask questions. So I think you can kind of game it, and I see some of you doing it, and some of you are quite talented at it, far more than I could be, and I'm very impressed with the depth of the responses and the level of expertise that quite a few of you are showing in getting into these conversations and contributing to them. It's been quite remarkable. So next week we do organized learning, and I think you'll continue to enjoy this journey through various organizational theories. And as always, we'll keep trying to apply them and think about managerial aspects. And I will try my best to read everything I see and respond to the posts and hopefully be responsive to all your concerns and questions. We did extend the deadline on quizzes. We did create another post not a post, a deadline for peer assessment training. And there'll be another opportunity with the first assignment if you missed any of those. And again, we're trying very hard to be flexible and respond to everything you ask of us. And thank you for bearing with and giving us all this wonderful feedback. So I will see you on the forums and next week.